These are dangerous people.
Roman, I'm concerned about you.
You don't just walk away from this.
I'm not walking away. I can finish this.
Each one of us is greater tthan the worst thing we've ever done.
Jamal Finkley.
Yeah.
Quiet, please.
My man got the gear on, man. Wait, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jamal Finkley, Black Tree TV.
Anytime you're ready.
You gotta be one of the greatest actors of all time. You're definitely in my
thanks,
book.
man. Thank you.
But I wonder, like, what was the actor that made you get up and get into it? Like, was there somebody that you seen perform? You know,
I saw James Earl Jones do Oedipus the King at St. John the Divine Cathedral. I saw a Taxi Driver. I saw just actors on stage that you wouldn't even know. He's like, how did they do that? I'm still seeing people. I saw Mark Rylance, and I was inspired. You know, you find out that, yeah, maybe I can do that, and then you see those that really can do it. You know, I never wanted to be an actor, but ignorance is bliss.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Would you have played basketball? I know you was playing.
I played a little basketball. Look, I started rubbing my knees. As soon as that's interesting. It's psychosomatic. I started playing a little basketball. I was all right. I'm from a great basketball town, Mount Vernon, New York. We had a lot of great players. I played a little football, but I didn't make the NFL. But my son did.
Yeah.
But you know, it worked out.
It was something I read where you talked about your people from Mount Vernon saying that, you know, like they've done like 40 years in the penitentiary together. So, and, you know, incarceration rates in America has been a problem, especially as opposed to minorities. And Roman delves into the issues around the legal system. Do you think we've made any headway in the
I
legal
think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. I said, who? He said, little yummies. Look up, Google Lil Yummy. Lil Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father? It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
You know, like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, you know, 15 to 25. One did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together. But I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example, and they didn't. We can blame the system if we want, but they didn't lock any of us up at 7.
Yeah.
We were all doing enough to get locked up at 13. My parents sent me in another direction. They didn't have anybody to help them, and they kept doing what they was doing, and the system got them. So I don't, the system is rigged, but why? All the more reason not to help it.
Speaking of fatherhood, Olivia, Malcolm, JD, all doing great things, and JD is now working with Spike Lee
right now,
on the Black Klansman. I want to know, like, do you have any advice for him on working with Spike?
We were talking this morning. We were talking for about an hour and a half this morning, and I'm proud of them all. My daughter's doing Shakespeare, Taming of the Shrew in Chicago. And my other son is an AFI graduate, Penn graduate, got a Morehouse graduate, an NYU graduate, a Yale graduate. You know, my wife did a great job. You know, but to answer your question, yeah, we you know, it's hard when you're a father, you know. Yeah. I'm trying to stay out of it. But I'm his father, you know. Yeah. But he asked me, you know, and I told him, I said, man, roll with Spike. Spike, I learned how to really improvise and flow with Spike.
Yeah.
You know, on Mo Better Blues and all the rest of them, and he's learning that now, and so I'm proud of them all.
Appreciate your time, brother.